You need to know this mechanic. Every pro shooters use this to shoot better. This is one of the most important reasons that Curry is the best shooter in the world. So, if you want to become a more consistent and accurate shooter and also stop missing so many easy shots, you need to learn about this. Even today, I cannot shoot very well, but some years ago, I was way worse. The first time that I touched a basketball was when I had 15 years, and I noticed very fast that the only way that I would be able to do anything in a basketball court would be behind the 3-point line, shooting. Definitely, I was not built to play this game, but I wanted anyway. So, because of that, I had to learn a lot about how to shoot better, just to have a glimpse of playing a real game. So, I learned with hundreds of YouTube videos, seen thousands of clips of the best shooter shooting, and go to practice by myself a lot of times. That was my life. Learn about shooting, training to shoot better, and then repeat for days, weeks, and months. Just that, every single day. In this journey, one thing helped me a lot to become the shooter that I am today, a better shooter. And this thing was the guide hand. So, I'm going to show all the things that I learned about the guide hand in those years. Explain to you what it is, the mistakes you are doing and it's not aware of, the practical advice of how to implement this, and also debunking a very important myth that you need to know that may save years of your life. Okay, you probably know about what is the guide hand or at least heard about it. It's the hand that you don't use to shoot the ball. It's the hand that you use to help move the ball before shooting it. Although those things are right, it's not exactly what the guide hand is all about. If you are training your shooting skills for some time, I'm sure that you already are doing this, or at least know about this. So, if you are already doing this mechanic that is so essential and important to become a better shooter, then why you still missing so much? Why it feels like that you have no control over your shots? Like you are in a FPS game without a reticle or crosshair, whatever you wanna call it. It's because you're not really doing the mechanic in the right way. If you never had this feeling, this sense of control over your shots, it's very possible that you don't have the guide hand well developed enough in your jump shot as you really thought. But who are you to say that? How can you be so certain about it? Well, it's because it happened the same thing to me. There was a time that I already implemented some mechanics to my jump shot and was becoming a better shooter. Then I stagnated. I began to miss my shots again. But on the beginning, I just thought I was passing by a shooting slump. But as the weeks was going by, I started to think that something needs to be wrong with my jump shot. Then I noticed it was my guide hand. I always had refused to change that, thinking that my thumb flick, putting the guide hand over or under the ball, or just doing an extra push with the hand was something normal that was not making me a worse shooter. And this was wrong. So, as a last resource to fix my problem, I tried to fix the hand. I learned about it and trained to develop it, now in the right way. After weeks of training, I finally developed it right, and I gotta tell you, it paid off. I became a more consistent shooter and finally had control of where the ball is going to go. Now it feels like I have a reticle when shooting. I'm not saying that I have a literal crosshair when shooting. It's more like I can really guide and have control of the path of my hands to the ring. And this makes me shoot better because now I just have to focus in one thing, the force that I'm using when shooting, not where I should aim or where I should direct my shot, because my guide hand is making that. So if you are doing some thumb flick, putting the guide hand over or under the ball, not touching the guide hand on the ball, doing an extra push with the guide hand, or anything with the hand that sounds strange, you need to fix that. The correct way that you should do this is to put the guide hand on the side of the ball, guiding the ball throughout the release. So, if the shot comes out in the wrong path, the guide hand should correctly that path naturally. Other thing is to move the hand like Curry is doing on the video. This is something that also helped me a lot, but what I see on the internet is really your choice, you decide. The main thing is to not create any extra variables with the left hand, and this is why it isn't much to tell what to do of the guide hand, but what to not do, because this is the main thing about the guide hand, is to not create any extra variables. Those things create variables to your shot. Therefore, now you need to do more things right to make a single shot, making you a more inconsistent shooter. But just knowing what the guide hand is and how to do it in the right way is definitely not the only thing that you need to know. See, if a hungry man asks you to give him something to eat and you give him a fish, it would kill his hunger. But after some time, he would come back again to you and ask for another fish. But imagine now that you gave him a fishing rod instead of the fish, and tell him to go catch that fish. Although he will know how to solve his hunger problem, he will not know how to fish, and his problem will still be not solved. Now, if you give him the fishing rod and teach him how to fish, then finally you will solve the problem of this hungry man. What I'm telling you is that just knowing better about the guide hand will not fix your problem about shooting. You still need to learn how to implement this mechanic in the proper way to your jump shot to solve your problem, to become a better shooter and to fix your jump shot. And how you do that? First, use the coin method to fix the guide hand. The method consists of putting a coin to your thumb and your pointing finger and try to shoot the ball without letting the coin fall. It's that simple, but that makes you develop correctly your guide hand much faster than any type of method. The second thing is to do your jump shot with the guide hand without the ball or in free throws. This way you can understand much better how to do it in the right movement and how to implement this mechanic to your jump shot. And the third thing is to fully develop the mechanic. Shoot the most realistic shots that you would be shooting in real games. Try to make as real as possible. The chance of hitting the shot, the direction of the pass, the time that you have to shoot, all those things can make you very uncomfortable when shooting. So your jump shot will be worse. And if even in those moments you can still shoot with a perfect well-developed guide hand, then you fully develop this mechanic. Making these implementations to fix a better guide hand into your jump shot for some special people is the worst thing to ever do. To understand that better, let's see this clip of Stephen Curry. See how he have a thumb flick. How can the best shooter in the world have such a bold mistake? Bro, imagine if he correct this. Actually, if he correct this mistake, he would become a worse shooter. But how? See, Curry passed his whole life seeing the best way to him to shoot the ball. And he noticed that with his thumb flick helping more than it damaged the jump shot. So that means that my thumb flick, my guide hand left on the ball over or under is a good thing and I should keep it. Actually no, there are two main things that we need to know about before making that decision. The first one is that this is technically wrong, so really try to fix that. And after you fix it and you see that you have a shooting slump that lasts more than weeks, months, then try to go back to the variations that you fixed. If you get out of the shooting slurp after you go back to your origins, it means that you are a better shooter with that variation, just like Curry is with the thumb flick. But what if I implement the guide hand mechanic perfectly and don't become a better shooter? See, you cannot just implement one single mechanic and think that you are going to become an NBA top shooter. You need to do more than implementing mechanics. Learning about mechanics like the guide hand will do nothing to you if you don't learn important and valuable things about your game and about game situations, like I teach on this video. This video will make you a better shooter, not because you will have a perfect jump shot, a perfect mechanics, but now you're going to learn more things about how to make your game perfect to the real life situations and make more points for you and for your team. So see you there.